Allow me to introduce to you the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, a community-created library that contains all kinds of .NET MAUI extensions, behaviors, converters, even controls that make your life as a .NET MAUI developer much, much easier. Let's see what that's all about. Now, maybe you have been around long enough to remember Xamarin and Xamarin Forms, all that old stuff. But there's also a lot of new people coming in and seeing .NET MAUI for the first time, and they think that we created this thing, .NET MAUI, out of thin air, that there's no history here, which is not entirely true. Xamarin Forms is kind of like the predecessor to .NET MAUI. It does a lot of the same things. And we also had a Xamarin Community Toolkit before that. So allow me to take you on a short trip down memory lane, tell you a little bit about the history of Xamarin and the Xamarin Community Toolkit, and now .NET MAUI and the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. So before, like I said, we had Xamarin Forms, which is a UI framework that allows you to write cross-platform apps on Android, iOS, and UWP. And we also had the Xamarin Community Toolkit because if you know a little bit about that, it also worked with XAML, it also worked with the code behinds, it also did data mining, MVVM. And if you start working with that stuff, especially with XAML, then you might find yourself at some point like you want to make a control visible, but you need to do that with a Boolean, right? Is visible true or false? But you want to bind that, you want to make that decision based on a object that is coming in, and that object might have an enum with multiple values. And suddenly, how are you going to translate that enum to that Boolean if some control is going to be visible? Now, that is where the converters come in. You have value converters, which allow you to kind of do that, write a little bit of logic that will automatically translate your enum or any other thing. You can write any code in there that you want into a Boolean and make decisions on if a control is going to be visible, yes or no. Now, you can do this for all the objects, Booleans, enums, complex objects, all the things. So, you know, these converters are very powerful, but the problem is that each developer would have its own converters. They are very similar usually. So what would happen is these converters are too small to kind of like wrap into their own package. So developers would have a lot of these converters, copy it from one project to another, maybe tweak it a little bit. Suddenly you have 2 versions, 4 versions, 8 versions. So it's not really great, right? And that's what we try to do with the Xamarin Community Toolkit. We try to combine all those converters, but also behaviors, which is a Xamarin specific thing, don't worry about it, and some other stuff that is very common whenever you're building Xamarin Forms applications. And we wrap that in one package so that we have this single point that people can just install, pull down. We maintain it. Of course, the community maintains it. It's a community toolkit. And suddenly, you know, we have this nice library with a lot of converters and all the stuff that people need. On top of that, we also added controls. So we have, for instance, a drawing view, a snack bar, a toast, all kinds of other cool things that are in there. Because, you know, maybe these controls come out of the idea of someone, and we can't just, like .NET MAUI and Xamarin Forms back then is like a big UI library, right? We can't just implement all the brain farts that we have, basically. We want to have a good plan and a solid plan before we go implement something. And that's kind of like where the Xamarin Community Toolkit fills a gap. Here we're a little bit more lean and mean, and we can implement controls that are more like ideas, maybe a little bit less lightweight or a little bit more lightweight. We can implement it there, mature them a little bit, see if it actually works. If not, then, you know, we might take it out at some point, or we stop maintaining it. And if it's good enough, then maybe it will end up in Xamarin Forms or in .NET MAUI in this case. So that's kind of like where it comes from. And now for .NET MAUI, fast forward to today, we suddenly have .NET MAUI, and of course we evolved our Xamarin Community Toolkit into the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, and we have this awesome library with a lot of stuff that will help the .NET MAUI developers, and that will make your lives a lot easier. Now, another thing which is really cool, again, it's the community toolkit. So we have me, I'm on the maintainer team. We have Brandon Minnick. We have Javier Suarez, we are from Microsoft, but we also have members from the community who are in our maintainer team, right? So we have Sean, we have Vladislav, we have Pedro, and they're all very great members, well-known, respected members from the community who are helping us out. Well, not helping us out. I mean, this is a community package. It's from all of us. I mean, at some point we might, you know, find ourselves in the people not working at Microsoft anymore. Me, Brandon, Javier. Not that I have plans, don't worry. But, you know, it might shift around that maybe the community has a majority in the maintainer team, and it's really something that is ran by the community. So that's by you. And also we try to keep this low threshold. so that you can easily contribute to it. If you have questions, we're always there to help you out. So it's very much about the community contributing, working together to make this something awesome. So from this point, the maintainers right now, thank you so much for your hard work, because I know a lot of this is happening in your spare time. So that is really amazing. And with all this, maybe it's now time to just jump over to a little bit of Visual Studio and see what this is actually all about. Now, this is all about community and contributing and all those kinds of things. So we have this open source repository, of course, on github.com/community toolkit/Maui. So everything is here. We have all of our code. We have a sample app. I'll show you that in a minute. And we have, the issues. Whenever something doesn't look right to you, open an issue and interact with us that way. But here you can find all the information about the toolkit, also how to get started, which I will show you in another minute. But maybe more importantly, if you are thinking about contributing, then here we have like submitting a new feature. This is not even like contributing in code maybe, but if you have like an idea for a feature and you are wondering like what is the workflow, we have this little graph right here so that you know what to expect. It looks kind of intimidating, but it's not really that bad, I assure you. It feels very naturally. So we just ask a couple of things like, hey, demonstrate to us what is going on, what is in your head, how do you want to use this thing? So describe us that in an issue, in a discussion first, and then we go through this flow where we, maybe you implement it, maybe we implement it, but this is just to set expectations on, what to expect. Now, we've written this out all here, so you can find out what this is all about. I just wanted to show you that the repository is here. Please give it a little star here in the top right corner if you actually like this project. So this is all here for you to learn. Now, let's hop over to Visual Studio and let's see how this actually works. Now here we are in Visual Studio. I pulled down that code from the GitHub repository on the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, and I opened the sample app repository. So together with all the code, we also have this sample app, and whenever you start running it, you can see this little app which has all the features in here with a little demonstration. Because every feature, whether it's a converter or a control or whatever, we try to have a sample in our sample app so that whenever you run it, you can see how it looks and feels. Or if you just want to look at the code, like, hey, how should I work with this? You can go over to the repo, go over to the code and see what we're actually doing with it. But if you would run it, then you can see here in this menu, I'm running it here on the Android emulator. It also, of course, works for iOS, Windows, all the supported platforms of .NET MAUI. You can go here to the converters. You can see we already have a lot. This is basically the majority of the things here. But we also have a lot of cool things like the views. So we have this drawing view, for instance, which you can use to draw lines on. This little gradient right here is the drawing view. Or maybe you want to do multi-line. So you see we can have a little showcase of all the properties that you can set here, clear the things, all the functionalities that come together with a control like this, or all the other things, of course. So you can really see how this actually works. Now, if I go over to the code here and look into the Solution Explorer, then we can see that we also have like, it's kind of like structured in a really nice way. So we have like the pages, it's set up in an MVVM way. And with the pages, we have kind of like the same things that you saw in the app as well. So the alerts, behaviors, converters, and you can go inside of these converters, go to a page, and you can inspect like, hey, this is being used in this way. And you can see how we can actually do these things. So that is really nice. Of course, you don't even need the full solution downloaded. You can just do this on GitHub as well. Another really cool thing is what you actually see right here in this welcome page. So maybe, like me, you like to structure all your things in XAML, but there are also people who like to write their UI in code. We also have the C# markup extensions, which allows you to do that, and that provides a little bit of a nicer, more fluent way of writing your C# code and to create the UI. So that welcome page that we just saw is written like this. We have this content, new vertical stack layout. We set this property like this. We do the children, and we set the properties on the label on this kind of fluent way. .font, .text sender, which senders the text, and then sender horizontal. So this is a little nicer way of writing your UI syntax in C#, basically. Now, I already have recorded a lot of videos for the Xamarin Community Toolkit, and some of them landed already in the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. Not everything yet. We're working on that. But go check out the corner of your screen right now if you want to see the videos for the Xamarin Community Toolkit, which are also applicable to the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. Or let me know down in the comments below if you want to see a video on a specific functionality of the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, and I will will make that updated video specially for you. So, okay, this is all nice and all, and we have, of course, the source for the Xamarin Community Toolkit here in the solution as well. So, you know, we have all the things, again, kind of like the same structure: alerts, snack bar, animations, behaviors, converters. You can actually look into the source code here, or, you know, whenever you start working and you decide to actually contribute to us, then you can see all these things and do that like this. But maybe you also want to know, like, how do I get started myself? Well, let's hop over to a other instance of Visual Studio, and here I created a new .NET MAUI application. So this is just the file new template that you get out of the box, and what we need to do is install the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. So let's go over to the Solution Explorer. I'm going to right click on my project, and I'm going to say Manage NuGet Packages, and inside of this I'm going to go to Browse and search for Community Toolkit .maui, and we should find this little nice icon. We got an updated icon as well, which looks very neat. You have to check the include pre-releases right now because we're on the RC1 version. We're going to have a stable version just like .NET MAUI soon, but for now it's still in pre-release. And you can see we have the MAUI package, we have the MAUI.markup package, and we have a core package. We have separated into a couple of layers already, so that it makes it easier to work with. But if you get the Community Toolkit .maui one, you will get the majority of it. If you want to have that nice C# syntax, fluent syntax, you need the markup one, but it will pull in all the dependencies automatically. So I'm going to install this one, which has all the views, all the converters, all that kind of stuff. You have to accept the license agreement here. And whenever it's installed, you will get this, boom, this nice README, which will help you with the instructions. So initializing, we need a little thing here, which we can use the generic host builder of .NET MAUI for. So we're going to go to use MAUI Community Toolkit. I can just copy it from here. I'm going to go to my solution, the MAUI program.cs. And here in my builder, I can now add use MAUI Community Toolkit. And what we need to add here on top of this namespace is using community toolkit.maui, and then it will actually understand this method here as well. And I don't need to do this. I need to just get rid of that thing here, and now it will get rid of the red squigglies, and we're initialized. This is all we need to do to initialize the toolkit. Now we can go to a XAML page. Of course, you can also do it in code if that's what you prefer, but I like my XAML, so I'm going to go to my XML namespace, and I'm going to say toolkit is, and then with IntelliSense we can find the toolkit. We have this nice convenient URL kind of thing that will import all the types for us, and now the IntelliSense will help me here. If I remove this whole scroll view, I don't need this anymore, and I want to start using the drawing view, I can just do toolkit, drawing view, and boom, now we have the drawing view implemented inside of my own application. I can set all the properties here. I can set the line color to red. I can set the multi-line that we've just seen to true. So you can see this is all IntelliSense enabled, XAML, everything right here inside of your own application. Just run the application, we will see the drawing view pop up, and it will work out of the box. So that's how easy it is to get started with the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. Now, to help you get started even better, we also have docs. If we don't have docs, we don't have a product, right? That is what people will say. So we kind of enforce, as kind of like a part of the process that I just saw of contributing a feature, we really enforce that there's also docs in there, so that we don't have a discrepancy there and you can't find docs for a specific feature. So all the features that are implemented right now are also documented on the official Microsoft Docs pages. So I'll pop in the link right here, and you can find it down in the video description below as well. Go to docs.microsoft.com. You can find the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, and that is where all the docs will live, and that will help you get started as well. As I already mentioned, this is the evolution of the Xamarin Community Toolkit, so I have a playlist with videos on that, and you can find how to use some of these features in more detail. If you want to know more about a certain feature, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will certainly help you with that. Thank you so much for watching again one of my videos. Please don't forget to click that like button so this video will spread to more people in the YouTube community. Check if you have already subscribed by clicking the subscribe channel. Don't click it again because then you will unsubscribe, so make sure it says subscribed down there, and then there is nothing else for me to do to well, actually, let me just, here is the playlist for the Xamarin Community Toolkit, so check out the videos there, and this playlist will help you with other .NET MAUI content that is on my channel, so be sure to check that out as well. And the subscribe button right here, did I mention the subscribe already? See you for the next video.